Marshall Chriswell is with us this morning, and it's another installment of Marshall Law. Marshall, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you with us here today. Hey, we get to the end of the year and we start to think about, maybe it is time for us in all of the hustle and bustle, and as we consider the new year coming, to consider our estate planning. And so we have this habit of just stuffing papers wherever we have them at a time. And then we lose track of things. And so I want to talk a little bit about your planning for your estate, finding the right documents, misplacing documents, losing documents, and then heading out to the attorneys and feeling all bad about yourself because you just don't have everything that you think that you need. And maybe you can guide us in this discussion about preparing your estate and what you need to know and what you need to have and what to do when you lose things.
Yeah, that's a really good topic. To the point about, stuffing papers in different spots, in a day and age where almost everything that we deal with is in an electronic format, most things that you purchase, important documents come to you through your email, receipts for things you purchase, or you can find them in your email or some other electronic format. The hard copies, we don't have the personal filing systems that we used to have. At least I'm finding a lot of my clients don't. They don't know what to do with important paper documents, and that's what these estate planning documents are, the wills and powers of attorney. While the copies may be helpful, the originals are so important. So you got to have a safe place to keep those. And if you find that you can't locate the original documents, you've got a problem, and one that you can't ignore.
Yeah, well, that's certainly a big problem. We want to get into that this morning. But when you have documents that you come and they come to you electronically, and you don't have a hard copy, sometimes that becomes an issue because the computer goes down, you haven't backed up, you lose a flash drive that you've been saving this stuff on, and that becomes an issue too.
Yeah, absolutely. So having, appropriate electronic backups and those kinds of things are really good. But when it comes to those estate planning documents, you have got to have those original signed, notarized documents.
All right, so let's talk about that a little bit. Take me through the process. Somebody comes to you, you work with them on an estate plan, and then when you have everything prepared for them and it's all printed out, what do you recommend be done?
Sure. Well, the recommendation is to keep these documents in a safe place in your home where the folks that are listed in the documents as your executor, your power of attorney, your trustee, your healthcare surrogate, these folks are going to know where they can find them in your home. So where is that place? It's a filing cabinet. It's a desk drawer. It's a home safe. A lot of people put them in a fireproof box or a gun safe. Lots of folks, if they have a safe in their home, sometimes it's a gun safe. That's a fine place for them. It's they'd be protected there. But again, you want to make sure that the important people have access to them. One place I'll note that you never want to put these documents is in a safe deposit box at a bank. And I've had this issue many times, had this conversation with clients many times. The problem with that is most of the time that safe deposit box is is titled to you or to you and your spouse. And when the folks that are that own that safe deposit box have become incapacitated or pass away, the important people that need to get to it, they can't access the box because they need the documents that are in the box to have authority to access the box. So, if you're the power of attorney, you can't get in there without showing the bank the power of attorney document. So you don't want to put them in a safe deposit box. You want them in a safe place, generally in your home.
All right, so that's really, really good advice. And that fire safe aspect of it has to be pretty important too.
It is, I've had unfortunate cases where clients, have had their house burned down, lose their documents. Even had a case where the client's documents were destroyed in a house fire, and the client died in the fire, and then you've got a mess. So a fireproof box is a really good idea.
I would think as well that if you're not using something like that and you're storing it in a basic cardboard box or a cardboard filing system, that you want that put in one of those big long gallon Ziploc bags to prevent water damage.
Yeah, the more you can protect them, the better. Absolutely.
All right. So all of that being the case, take us through this whole process of getting the estate plan underway, what people need to do in order to kick this off, and what they need to bring with them for that initial visit.
Sure. So if you, and just to stick with this for a moment, if you, have had estate planning work done previously, you have a previous will, power of attorney, healthcare documents, and you see, and you can't find the originals. I have this happen with lots of clients. Maybe they can only find a copy, and they know I had the original somewhere. You want to get in to a consultation with an attorney and bring that copy in, talk to them. There are a lot of people that have the idea that wills, whenever they're signed, get filed in some sort of public record system, with the courthouse or something. In Pennsylvania, that's not the case. Wills don't get filed with the court until after someone dies. So if you took your old original document home from the attorney's office and you can't find it, it's very likely there is no record of it apart from a draft in that prior attorney's office or a copy in that prior attorney's file. So it's something you need to take care of right away. You need to be reviewing these documents, periodically, making sure here are the originals, here's where they are. So it's really important to do that. But whether you are updating old documents, lost documents, or you've never had documents, the first thing to do, obviously, is to call an estate planning attorney and to schedule a consultation.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a process that people might think is really complicated, and there certainly are complications to it. But that's the attorney's job, is to handle all of those. You'll do your best to make it as simple as possible for folks and talk them through the whole process.
Yeah. Yeah, what I do is when someone calls in to schedule an appointment to talk about estate planning issues, get them obviously scheduled, and then I send them out just a very simple questionnaire, which you fill out this form, which gives me all of the information that I need to kind of get the ball rolling. What's your family situation? Who, just in general, how are you thinking about dividing your assets when you're no longer with us? Who are the trusted people in your life to make medical and financial decisions in the event that you become incapacitated, and other, and then a list of, getting a list of, assets and things like that. So we get that all together in that questionnaire. You bring it with you to the consultation so that I can review it, and then we go from there as far as if I need to get any additional documents. So that means that you don't need to be getting together every single bank statement and investment statement and deeds to your house and your copy of your mortgage and all these things. You fill out that questionnaire to the best of your ability with the general information, and then we can drill down on that whenever we sit down and talk.
Marshall, this is two questions. One, is there an age at which you recommend people begin to seriously consider having their estate plan? And two, is there an age that you would say people typically do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Estate planning is important for everybody, so it's never a bad idea to begin that process. Certainly, if you have children. So, and as far as when we normally see people coming in to schedule appointments, if it's younger people, it's almost always because they've just started a family, and you start to become aware of these issues. What's going to happen if something happens to me? What's going to happen with my spouse and my children? What if something happens to both myself and my spouse? Where's that going to leave our kids? Who's going to take care of them? And how are any funds that we leave behind going to be administered on their behalf. So people start to think about that. So if I see younger people coming in for consultations, that's usually what sparked the thought in their mind. And then the other age bracket that probably has the most representation is folks that are just starting to think about retirement. They have, as you get a little bit older, your financial planner, your retirement administrator at work, somebody will probably suggest to you to start thinking about having a will. And your doctor starts to ask about whether you have advanced directives and healthcare surrogates. So you start to get the idea that, we need to do these things. So those are the two most common ages for people that start the process, and that's a good suggestion as well. Both of those times in life are when you want to be looking at these issues.
And as you've told us, it's not really necessary for you to take all those documents with you to the original consultation with you or whoever that attorney might be that you've chosen to help you plan your estate. It is a good idea to make sure where they are and to get them all bundled up and in one place and secure, just as if it were that moment when you needed them.
Absolutely. And you do want to take a look at those things. I mean, one of the things that I always talk about with folks are their retirement plans, investment accounts, life insurance policies. All those things generally have beneficiary designations associated with them, and we're going to want to make sure that your estate plan is consistent with what those beneficiary designations are. So you do want to take a look at that stuff. A lot of times those beneficiary designations go a long time without being updated. You put whenever you started your retirement plan or you started purchased your life insurance, you put somebody on there as a beneficiary. Maybe it was before you had children or your kids were still minors, or so that person may not be the appropriate beneficiary for that account. So you do want to look at those, review them, and absolutely keep important documents in one place, maybe all together in that safe or filing cabinet or wherever you have them, so that if somebody else needs to look at them, like your executor or your power of attorney, they've got it all in one space if something happens, and they can, handle your affairs in a more seamless manner. I'm
sure this conversation will continue with estate planning over the course of our next several visits, but that's all the time we have for today. People want to avail themselves of your services. What do they need to do?
You can always call the office at 724-465-5826. Come see us in the R&P Cole Building, 655 Church Street in Indiana, or go online to www.westernpalawyer.com.
He is Marshall Chriswell. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Todd. Take care. Have a good week.
You too.
Take care. Have a good week.
You too.
Take care.